Go on.
Hello, I'm Paul Godfrey.
I'm Edwin Adkins.
Thank you for joining us today on the webinar. So today's webinar is going to be Invoq and CiBO Plus. And the webinar is purely going to be based upon how both appliances can complement each other during service. So in essence, the webinar that we're doing today, Edwin, is about capacity management. And what we mean is having the ability to cook little and often, call order, single or double portion, or if we have multiple portions and we want to do bulk cooking or bulk preparation, we use the Invoq oven there. So the whole idea about this is about kitchen efficiency. So making the kitchen highly efficient, whether it be through energy, whether it be through service, etc. So the idea is using both appliances together is about making operators' lives simple. What do you think, Edwin?
I think that's very true. It's about using the equipment that you have in your kitchen to its fullest potential. It's about making your life easier, and it's about making it efficient. You can do all kinds of different, so you can use the larger pieces of equipment to do your big preparation, to do big orders, whereas, for speed, the CiBO Plus is second to none.
Cool. So it's about making chefs' lives easier, having a faster service, managing the energy consumption. Who wants to run a full-size cavity of an oven if we only want to cook one portion of something? The other thing we have to look at is about consistent results. So consistency is the secret to success, I think, of any business or any food service restaurant. But key also is quite often food service is responsible for a lot of wastage where we pre-prepare, we overcook. So by having exact timers, menu planners built into both appliances here, we can eradicate any of the wastage and maximize our profits.
Again, making the most of the technology that's available in the industry to its utmost potential.
Okay, so Edwin, if you want to talk about Invoq and maybe introduce the video for us.
Yeah, we're going to have a short introduction video for Invoq and to give you an idea of what we're talking about.
So let's explore Invoq.
Invoq Combi and Invoq Bake. Easy to install, master and maintain. Yet these smartphones' simple controls connect you with an array of sophisticated intelligent features, including Smart Baker and Smart Chef, which open up a dialogue between you and the oven. Inside, climate control orchestrates heat, airflow, humidity and pressure, so you can cook faster and more productively. An extra rack gives Combi 17% more capacity and Bake 20%. CareCycle offers high-performance, eco-conscious cleaning. A medium cycle cleans 63% faster, uses 27% less water, and saves 70% of the cost. Because Invoq connects to Open Kitchen, it immediately becomes part of your controllable network of devices, boosting productivity, enhancing safety, and cutting food waste. Invoq.
Wow, I love that.
A brief introduction to the Invoq oven. It touched on, our Android user interface, how intuitive it is to use, how it can be used in different cooking programs, how it can be updated, so on and so forth, to include new cooking functions. It's a fantastic ability to have. Also went into the capacity of the oven, that it expands. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. It covered the cleaning system, which is always a bonus in a kitchen. I can remember when I was a young man and the head chef used to send me into the kitchen with a tea towel wrapped around my head to scrub the ovens.
Many years ago, Edwin, I'm sure.
Scarred me, Paul, scarred me.
Okay,
But
okay.
It's a pleasure.
Cool. Okay, so we've done a short video recap on Invoq on the oven. So we're going to do the same now on CiBO Plus. Okay, so really what we want to do is give you, explore CiBO Plus and give you a feel about what it's going to do and what it can do for you. And then straight after that, great for us, we're going to do some cooking. So here we go. Let's explore CiBO Plus. Okay, excellent. Hope you enjoyed that video. So we're going to get on to some cooking now. So just to recap on what you would have seen on the video. So CiBO Plus was a new entrant into the high-speed market coming on 2 years ago. We've won 3 awards. And what we've actually done is we've managed to build a brand around CiBO and CiBO Plus. So we have the entry-level oven CiBO 1, which is a similar vessel, but without the microwave. We have CiBO Plus. And actually last week only, hot off the press, we launched another version called CiBO Boosted that gives 25% more capacity. So what I'm going to do is move straight into a bit of cooking. So you see in front of me the CiBO Plus here. So we have 4 different colors. So quite a lot of people choose red for proteins, green for vegetarian if you want to segregate your cooking, purple for allergens, or if you just want something neutral color, we choose the black fascia on the front here. So very simple. You have something called QPad on the oven. And basically, this will store your 40 preloaded recipes. So the idea is here is where we differ. You'll see across the bottom here, 5 panels where I can have up to 5 different cooking temperatures. This is highly unique to speed ovens, which generally use one form of heat and temperature. So as you go through here, we can see here, I can actually categorize my food. So this is not just a reheating or a rewarming or a toasting vessel. This is great for side dishes, main dishes such as salmon, burnt ends, which we're going to be cooking, side dishes of asparagus even for a starter. Some people even use it as an air fryer. So the deep fried products that would go through the oil are a healthier option with 33% less oil, but actually it's less on cost as well. So what we'll do, I have first of all, I have just a basic toasted sandwich. So what I want to do is demonstrate the color that we put inside on the toasty. So we open the cavity, you see a flat base. And as we close the door, I'm simply going to press the toasty button here, and we have QPad. And we use something called color Q. So color Q is green, amber, and red. Green means
go.
Amber means
almost.
Red means
stop.
Yeah, perfect. So the idea is we try and use color coding and images as we do it. So tri-heat technology. Let me talk to you about this. So tri-heat technology is what makes CiBO Plus unique. It's where we have a flat base with an element underneath, which is controllable in temperature up to 360 degrees. We use turbo air coming from above, and we use a rear launch microwave. So we combine the three. The reason we do it this way and not impingement is really simple. We want a nice, crispy base. So quite often in speed cooking, you see a nice colored top, but the underneath has no color. And the more you cook, you get a more pale product. So using this tri-heat technology often means we use less microwave, so we get an enhanced product. So you just heard the alarm go there. Really important. We don't want operators to stand in front of a speed oven. So literally I can be standing over another part of the kitchen. That 15-second warning is telling me I need to come back to the appliance and have a look and see it's ready. So we said before, red means stop. So literally I open the door. We take the toasted sandwich out. Literally, I will take the toasted sandwich here. So now, very important, you can see that we've got a nice crispy base. So very, very simple. When I open up the product there, you see all of the steam and the cheese is melted. So really simple. So it's just a very simple sandwich that's cut, placed onto the oven there. So that can be anything from 1 minute to 1 minute and 5 seconds. Depending on the filling, you can get away with as little as 50 seconds. So what do you think of that, Edwin? I don't know if you want to have a little try of that.
Paul, again, going back to the potential of the equipment, I mean, be able to do that in 1 minute is amazing. And to have it ordered, it's about making the most of the available technologies in this day and age, isn't it? It's employing the hot air from the top, the glass hot bottom and the microwave from the back. It's awesome. I mean, and 1 minute is
it's great. It's great. So look, that's 1 minute, something very, very quick. But what I have noticed, Edwin, just talk to me about this. What have you got here?
So we baked up some croissants, pan of chocolat, to be more correctly, in the oven. I mean, we've employed some humidity and during the cooking process. Just to revert 1 second, Paul, you've done a toasty. I wanted to also join you in the toasty equipment.
Okay. So this is quite unusual. I've never seen a toasty cooked in a combi oven before. But let's talk about it now. This is speed cooking still, yeah?
It's speed cooking, absolutely. I mean, we've got a very high temperature. The fan is blowing around the oven. I've used a traditional grid to do it with. I have actually used humidity during the cooking process.
I can't believe. Let's have a look. Wow.
Toasted both. So I mean, the benefit.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
The benefit, of course, to being able to cook in both of these pieces of equipment is it covers so many different parts of the industry. Yeah. So if you're a hotel, you might have a lounge, you might have a room service, a satellite. You might, that's just in a hotel. A cafe, you might do toasties. You need one quickly. You don't want to have an oven.
Yeah.
An enormous oven sat at such a high temperature, ready to cook one toasty.
So I hope you heard when I scraped the underneath of the toasted sandwich. So quite a miracle for me is you've cooked this using 30% humidity.
30% humidity, indeed.
But it still comes out crispy.
Well, it's a common misconception, actually, when cooking with humidity, that it will give you a sort of a steamed product. Because the temperature of the oven is at 230, the humidity essentially becomes a gas.
Yeah.
And it is 24 times more heat conductive than air on its own. So once you introduce the gas to the environment, the cooking environment, the heat is way more efficient to get to the product. And that's why you get that fantastic crispy surface.
So you've demonstrated to me capacity management. So let's just recap. So single portion, one at a time. Clearly, you don't want to run a 6 or 7 level or a 10 level oven to do one toasty. So what you're demonstrating there is you get call order. You get 6 portions in one go. What was the time again?
3 minutes, 40 seconds. I did those.
Okay. 4. And could I replicate that across all 7 shelves?
Absolutely. I mean, you could comfortably get 8 sandwiches on one tray. And as we were talking about the capacity in the video, we have 17% more capacity because we've added a 7th shelf, still with a 70mm distance between the shelves to allow for that airflow to make sure that you get the full crispy product all the way around. So 8 times 7, Paul?
Don't ask me. Don't challenge me like that. Don't challenge me. Right. Okay. Look, I tell you what. So I noticed you cooked some pan of chocolates this morning.
I did that to show the evenness of the cook and whatnot. But I mean, me myself, I like a warm coffee. I like a pan of chocolate with melted chocolate to go with my coffee. But again, I wouldn't want to keep my oven hot just to do that, Paul.
Okay.
Can you help me out?
Right. So if you want a warm pan of chocolate to go with your coffee, it's really simple. So on the front here, I have my recipe. So I have, this one actually says croissant, but we're going to do it as pan of chocolate. So this goes inside, literally press play, 25 seconds. So the idea is now when we have bakery and things like that, that you will be pre-cooking, you'll have your product, and when somebody wants it warm, we have to be cooking in seconds and not minutes. I think that's absolutely critical. It also ensures we don't get any wastage. Already, as soon as I put the product in, Edwin, it's beeping me to let me know I need to come across and it's going to be ready.
That quick?
Yeah, yeah. So we've used a small amount of base heat, a tiny bit of turbo air, and we've used 40% microwave. Here we go. So we can see here, it's not overcooked the product. And again, when we have a look here, so we've got the pan of chocolate, it's very, very hot. And we see here again is the crispy base. This is the key. Again, when I go back to tri-heat technology, the crispy base is one of the most important functions. So it's maintaining the quality, etc. on that. So yeah, so you can have that later because we've got another 20 minutes to go. Over to you, Edwin.
All right, brilliant. So to continue, we were looking at cooking some salmon. Now, to employ the humidity, again, as I was talking, I'm going to roast some salmon portions. I want to get some bar marks and want to do that first. Okay. So I also cooked some pork overnight, last night. Talking about cooking with humidity. Now, the oven, it's very energy efficient, but it gives you the option of cooking low temperature with low fan speed, with added humidity to create a balanced environment. So if you put a piece of meat into an oven and cook it for a long time in a dry cabinet, the dry cabinet will remove the moisture from the meat. If you add humidity to the product during the night, it creates a more balanced environment so that the meat will cook in its own juices and stay very tender. And last night, I put some pork belly, a little bit of marinade. I cooked it overnight at 90 degrees, really tender. Came out in the morning. I mean, if you're working in the kitchen and you have an oven like this, to do your long, slow cooking takes a long time. You don't want your oven to be out of unavailable during the day when you need it cooking, so on and so forth. You need it ready. So your long, slow cooking, employ the oven to cook overnight so that you don't, you've got your oven ready for your quick cooking during the day.
Ah, cool.
And then, I've glazed it with some teriyaki, some soy, some honey. It's sweet and
it looks great. It looks great. But what happens when somebody wants a portion now? So if I wanted to do a side dish or a starter maybe of burnt ends, what would you recommend?
Well, on this side, I would have to employ the whole oven again, which wouldn't be perfect.
So, wow. I didn't want to tell you I was doing this. Okay. So what I wanted to look at was I took a slice of that. If you look at that piece there, it's slightly smaller. So I really like it with burnt ends. Okay. So what I want to be able to do, I'm not a chef, I'm afraid. So I'm literally just pressing the button on the front of the unit there. But I think you could hear the sizzle when this came out on the burnt ends. And we can see here, if we were doing a little side dish, and I want you to try this, Edwin, because it's really important that you like it. But that's probably, in fact, if I put all of this on, I've probably got enough portions here for two.
And you could serve that with some steamed rice. You could serve it with some roasted vegetables. You've got so many options.
Okay. What do you think?
Warm, crispy.
So So what we've done there, I just want to put this to the side, Edwin, if I can get the magic fairies to get that clean for us. So what I want to demonstrate really is we've actually cooked a protein dish here. So we've reheated, but we've also colored the product further. And again, think of tri-heat technology. The base is almost like pan frying with the air on top and a small amount of microwave. So it's about keeping all of that in situ and in place. So we're now stretching past doing a toasted sandwich and doing a croissant or a pan of chocolate.
Here we have a quiche. I mean, this I baked yesterday. It's, for me, call me old-fashioned, a piece of quiche is wonderful lunchtime. Bit of salad next to it, you can't go wrong. But again, I like my quiche warm. Don't like it cold. So I like the edges to be toasted. If I'm to maintain temperature in the oven for the whole of lunch and I'm selling 1, 2, 10 pieces of quiche sporadically, it's not energy efficient.
Okay.
Can you help me out with that, Paul?
Yeah. So again, right. So we've done toasted sandwich, we've done the croissant, we've done the burnt ends. So let's do a small portion. So let's just imagine, as you say, it could be a cafe, it could be a small restaurant. Take the single slice of quiche. And again, as I come up to the oven here, so I will select the recipe that I've got. So here on the quiche, I've got 1 minute, 15 seconds. That goes in again. And look at the smooth base in the back here. Close the door and press play. Dead simple, okay? So there's a couple of areas we haven't covered actually on this. So at the moment, when we talk about it, I always talk about ventless kitchens and ventless space. So both Invoq can have what we class as a Houdini, which makes it ventless, has a catalytic converter, and CiBO Plus has a built-in catalytic converter. Both are self-cleaning, so zero maintenance. But look, let's explore now. When we're working with kitchens and things like that, or hotels, we can now, as we make them ventless, no need for the canopy or the hood across the top. Okay.
A massive cost saving.
We can create additional revenue points. Just imagine for a second, something in the middle of a store, no ventilation needed, Houdini on the top. You have a CiBO Plus, also ventless. The cost saving is incredible, but we can now create additional revenue from non-kitchen spaces.
Absolutely.
So you can use areas now. Think of stadia, think of cinemas, think of theatres, think of wherever.
Yeah.
It's maximizing the space, but also reducing any limitations.
Old buildings as well, beautiful old buildings in the center of cities don't want you to start installing enormous extraction systems. Oh, lovely.
So I think that looks pretty cool, actually. So what we've done there, we've actually toasted the cheese on the top, okay? So we've got a really nice bit of coloration on there as well.
Oh, look at that crispy pastry, melted cheese.
That's cool.
What's not to like?
No, that's cool. That's cool. So we talked before about the flexibility. So we're trying to show different things. So again, with CiBO Plus, something really incredible. This works on a 13 amp or a 3-pin, 2-pin plug. So European, wherever you are in the world. So the idea is it's only at 3 kilowatt. So the other part of tri-heat technology to enable it to work on a 3-pin plug is it power shares, okay? So when it power shares, it uses the different energies at different times, keeps the kilowatt loading low. But do you know what the biggest benefit is?
No, tell me.
The cost per cook. So it doesn't matter where you are, the cost per cook when you're basing it on around about 1 minute is around about either 2p or 3 cents.
Wow.
So it's incredibly cheap. What it also means is if you look at a return on investment with CiBO Plus, it's around about, for an end user, 45 days if you based it upon 20 meals or 20 items per day. So we've got some really sort of cool flexibility there. So, okay, just get another tray. Okay, so something I want to do here, Edwin, I don't know if you've ever seen this. So how would you normally, if you wanted like roasted asparagus?
Well, asparagus of that size, I would steam it first, or
Yeah.
blanch it, and then I would preheated grill tray in the oven, and I would drop it onto the bars to get the bar marks.
Okay. Okay.
And that would take, you'd have to steam it for probably 3-4 minutes, and then 2-3 minutes in a very hot oven.
Okay. Cool. Cool. So what we'll look at then with CiBO Plus is we're going to cook the asparagus from raw, but we'll do a single action. Okay. So whilst I'm doing that, I'm going to come on to something a little bit fishy later. So maybe you want to prepare something and get something ready for Invoq on that.
Yep, I certainly will.
Cool. So, okay, asparagus. We look at the front of the unit here, and simply where I go across the 5 categories here. So I've got one that's categorized as sides, and here I have asparagus. Look at that. 1 minute, 5 seconds for raw asparagus. So let's put that in. Okay, press play on the front. So you may notice on the panel here, we have like a leaf. So something really cool with the oven is it also has an energy mode. So we were talking before about efficiency and energy. So if the oven is inactive, really, really simple, you can preset it to go to sleep and reduce its temperature if it's not being used. So if you have a quiet period during production or capacity, simply the oven will decide to turn itself down and consume less energy. So on the energy theme, if I run CiBO Plus at 270 degrees cavity temperature, but look at this, the base says 360, so I have twin control of the cavity. So I manage the 2 temperatures. If I run this, Edwin, for 1 hour, it will consume less than 1 kilowatt. So even if I didn't cook or use the energy efficiency mode or the sleep mode, less than 1 kilowatt.
Fantastic.
What do you think?
I think it's great. I think it's a must-have.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. So, okay, so again, we had the 15-second beep and alert. Timer's counting down. And here we go. So it says complete, and we've got red as part of the color cue. We see we've got a nice roasted effect on the asparagus there. So what I'll do is we'll get that plated. And for me, I just like the color of this. We've still got a little bit of bite on there. If I can just move that across. Thank you very much. So I'm not very artistic as a chef or anything like that, but I'm going to try and impress you here, Edwin. Let's go.
You're a natural.
We'll have a go. We'll have a go. So how much do you think that could retail for? I mean, if this was a side dish.
Oh, I dare to think in the centre of London. The best part of 12 quid, 15 quid.
Probably even more in Paris, who knows? So the idea is here is we've got, it could be a side dish, an accompaniment. It could be charged at whatever price, but we've cooked it for around about 2p or 3 cents. We've cooked it in about 1 minute. And because we've cooked it to order, we've not had to do multiple processes. So we talked earlier at the beginning when we started this about the efficiency. Okay. So finally, I'm going to do another quick challenge. And what I'd like to do on this challenge very, very quickly is I want to put a piece of fish in. Okay. So what we'll do on the fish here. So what I'll try and do on this one is I'll just put a bit of skin side down on the fish. So we have a piece of salmon. We'll put it down onto the tray there. Just make sure we've got a bit of oil on there. Okay. And again, I'm going to come across, and this time I'm going to select the salmon on the front of the unit. Put my product in here. There we go. And simply press play. So you'll notice the time on there is 1 minute 50 seconds. That's an ambitious time for a piece of salmon. So we put it skin side down, because remember we talk about pan frying. So the idea of having it skin side down is to give the crispiness. Okay, so I think, are you also doing some salmon as well?
I'm doing some salmon as well. Again, because I want to show the marriage between the 2 pieces of equipment. I mean, if you're doing a party, for example, and everybody's having a salmon dish, then doing them in the oven, it just allows that, as you were saying earlier, consistency.
Cool.
I've got a preheated grill tray, which I've laid the flesh side down onto the grill tray. And again, I'm cooking it with humidity. to bring attention to, as you were saying, the green, the orange, the red, so green, yellow, red. We have a similar system with what we call the rack timer. So as the timer's counting down, it goes yellow, and then towards the last minute of cooking,
Cool.
it will start to, once it's cooked, it will start to flash green so that you can see from across the other side of the kitchen that the oven will soon be ready. And then if, for example, you don't take your product out of the oven, after a minute, it will start to flash red, which is like an alarm for people. Again, making the most of the technology that's available in this day and age.
Okay, so let's recap then. Okay, so we have 2 appliances. Both can be ventless, so they can be located anywhere. We have one that can be on a 3-pin plug. We can take where people would traditionally have a 10-level speed oven or combi oven. They could probably go for the 6, and we have the 7th runner in there, so more capacity.
17% more capacity.
Cleaning is dead simple, so you have automatic cleaning on here. There's no automatic cleaning here, but it's very simple. Nothing to remove, cools down in 10 seconds, and because of the flat base, super, super efficient there. We have simplicity on operation. We have recipe control, and by cooking to order, we can eliminate the waste management. So here we go. Here's the salmon. Okay, we'll just give that a second there.
Excellent.
So here we go. So we have with some crispy skin on the salmon there. And honestly, this is something that takes skill and time to cook. Honestly, indeed. You always tease me. He says I have no skill, and I've just cooked some beautiful asparagus, some salmon, along with various other dishes. So as that's finishing, the segments that can buy this, where can this equipment go? This can go whether it's doing bakery or in combi mode, having the high-speed cooking. This could be in a forecourt. It could be in a restaurant.
Supermarket.
It could be cafe,
hotels,
supermarket, public
boats.
sector. Yeah, it's cool.
It's the marriage of the two allows so much potential in regards to. So now this is cooked. I'll take it out the whole tray.
Let me remove that for you.
I'll just use Paul's tongs, and I'll flip these. Oh, mate.
That's fine. That looks cool. That looks cool. That looks cool. That's cool. It happens to the best of us. So I think what you've got there is what you're demonstrating is we've done 1 minute 50 seconds. Again, the time on here.
That was 3.5 minutes.
Cool, cool. Okay, so look, guys, girls, thank you very, very much for joining.
We're going to finish with dessert.
Have you got dessert?
I've got a little dessert too.
Okay, right. Quick bit of dessert then. Let's just show a quick bit of dessert. I suppose it'd be rude not to. Okay, we'll do that.
Well, being as Paul and I are both from the UK, I figured we would do a classic UK dessert.
Okay, what have you done?
So I decided to go for a sticky toffee pudding, which I baked in the oven earlier. As I won't go for the classic English portion, Paul.
You know what you're going to do to me, don't you?
Yeah.
You're going to grow the tummy.
So it's relatively moist, but not too moist. And the reason that you don't want it particularly moist is because in classic standard, what you do with a sticky toffee pudding is just drop it into the sticky toffee sauce.
You give me a heart attack here.
Absolutely. That's the whole idea. Little bit of sea salt.
Wow.
On top of each. And again, you could do the whole thing in an oven for many, many, many portions. But if you're in a restaurant or in a pub or and you wanted to serve just one portion,
how
are you going to do it?
So look, I'm going to surprise you on this one. So look, we're putting metal into a speed oven.
Ice cream.
Everyone says you can't do it. It's going in. $40 and it's on. So look, everyone, watch out. There's a panini press coming for the oven as well. So the panini press, non-mechanical, that's going to be launched within the next week. So this would be excellent where you can cook toasties in bags, make it nice and simple. On the Invoq, we have also, if you have like a cool order system in your front of house, we have the pass-through oven as well. So when Edwin was bringing out the toasties, they could be through on a pass-through. Have you got some spoons ready? Because I want to dive into this when it's ready.
I'll get you a fresh spoonful. Actually, cake forks, darling. We're English.
I hope you got some ice cream for this to go with it.
Of course.
Okay, here we go. So 40 seconds, very, very quick. Cool. Wow. My goodness. Okay.
Oh, lovely.
So very, very hot. Don't burn yourself.
Just going to push those back onto each other. It's soft, it's sticky, it's naughty.
Looks hot. That's cool.
This is what we call a schoolboy pudding in England.
So I want to remind everybody, if you want a personalized or customized presentation or demonstration on any of the appliances that you've seen today, you just let us know. Honestly, there's no cost for anything like that. But actually, rather than doing a box standard demonstration, we will replicate your menus and your dishes. Probably not as good as you guys, but we will try and replicate them. Wow. Fabulous.
Heart attack, Paul.
I need to be off camera when I eat that. I'll drop it all down my front. That's cool. Okay.
I'd like to say thank you to Paul for coming over from the UK to support us in our webinar. It's been a pleasure.
That's cool.
Paul.
Cool, man. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much for taking the time to be with us today. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, home of Invoq.
Cheers, guys.